win 1-0 on the night, and they go through.
This was the last time we ever saw Ronaldo win the Champions League. Now this was the last time we saw Neymar there, and this was Messi's last match in the tournament. So in this video, we're gonna see exactly when and how Neymar, Ronaldo and Messi played their first and their last Champions League match. Starting with Neymar, who made his debut on September 18, 2013 in the Camp Nou against Ajax. That was the group stage of the 2013-14 season, and the manager Tata Martino decided to put the young Neymar to play. At just 21 years old, with the number 11, he formed the attacking trio with Messi and Alexis Sanchez. There he is, Neymar going for his first Champions League match. And in that game had a performance praised by the Spanish media. So much so that in the second half, made a perfect cross for Piqué, who sent it into the net.
Neymar, el centro que se cierra. Gol!
Gave his first assist right on his debut. But the MVP of that match was Messi, who scored a hat-trick and Barcelona defeated Ajax 4-0. So Neymar ended up in Messi's shadow, but was literally the second best player. Had 5 shots, 91% pass accuracy and completed 2 dribbles, finishing with a 8.5 rating according to Who Scored, even ahead of Iniesta. So after that, he had a career we know well, winning the Champions League in 2015, moving to Paris, suffering many injuries but still being very important, and in 2020 was runner-up. Until we got to the 2022-23 season, when Paris once again reached the Champions League round of 16, now with Messi by his side. But in the draw were very unlucky, because they were drawn against Bayern Munich. So on February 14, 2023, Neymar, now at 31 years old, entered the field alongside Messi. The manager at the time was Gautier, and little did we know, but Neymar was going for his last Champions League match. And in a game who dominated was Bayern, until Coman scored the only goal in the second half. Neymar played a full 90 minutes and operated more on the left, attacking and also going back.
Neymar.
He had 55 ball touches and completed 25 out of 27 passes attempted. Also managed to make 2 out of the 3 dribbles attempted. But when it comes to attacking, he didn't pose much of a threat. Only had 3 shots, all of them in the second half. 2 were blocked and 1 was saved.
And now Neymar, still not clear. By Pavard and then saved by Sommer, and he's going to score!
Offside.
Furthermore, he only made 1 key pass. 1 pass that was dangerous to Bayern. Didn't really stand out, suffering 2 fouls but committing 3 and losing possession 16 times. He tried to find a space many times, but Bayern's defense was very good. So, at the end of the 90th minute, Neymar ended with a rating of 6.9 on SofaScore. He wasn't the worst player, but wasn't the best either. It was an average game. But even with this performance, he could play better in the second leg. But a few days later, suffered an ankle injury, so didn't play and Paris conceded even more goals, being eliminated. So now, before we go to Messi's first and last match in the Champions League, let's talk about him. The greatest scorer, Cristiano Ronaldo. And his first appearance in the competition was when he was still playing for Sporting. Back in August 2002, taking his first steps in professional football, he came on as a substitute in a qualifying match against Inter Milan. And in that match, already made dribbles that showed his potential. But that wasn't a group stage match and Sporting was eliminated by Inter, so Ronaldo's official debut only happened a year later. In 2003, he transferred to Man United and they went to the group stage. So on October 1st, 2003, the manager Alex Ferguson put Ronaldo in the starting 11. He wasn't a bench in the previous game, but now was starting, and the match was against Stuttgart from Germany away. The young Ronaldo, at just 18 years old and already wearing the number 7, would play alongside Giggs, Van Nistelrooy, Scholes and others. And in the match, it was the home team, Stuttgart, who attacked more, and in the second half they even scored 2 goals. Until the young Cristiano Ronaldo suffered a foul and earned a penalty. The keeper held him and brought him down, but Ronaldo wasn't the official penalty taker yet, so Van Nistelrooy stepped up and scored. But after that, United couldn't do anything else and was defeated. What a bad luck to debut with a loss. So fast forward 19 years later, we arrive at the 2021-22 season. Now Ronaldo was already one of the greatest players ever, having 5 Champions League titles and becoming its greatest goal scorer. And after playing for Real Madrid and Juventus, he was now back in Man United. Then right in his first season back in England, Ronaldo went and played the Champions League and did very well in the group stage, scoring 6 goals in 6 games to take him to the round of 16. And in the round of 16 faced Simeone's Atletico Madrid, where they drew the first leg. Now the second leg was gonna happen at Old Trafford. So on March 15th, 2022, 19 years after his debut, Ronaldo came to what would be his last game in the Champions League, alongside Sancho, Bruno Fernandes, Fred, De Gea and others.
As a billboard in the city used to proclaim, welcome to Manchester. The United side welcomes back Bruno Fernandes with Cristiano Ronaldo fresh from a weekend hat-trick.
Ronaldo, as usual, started as a center forward, but with the ball at his feet, moved more towards the left, trying to find a space in Atletico's defense, completing 3 out of 4 dribbles attempted. He also had a good passing accuracy, completing 33 out of 35 passes, but none of them directly threatened Atletico. Didn't make any key pass.
Ronaldo alarga el paso, quiere dejar en el camino a Savic.
And in this game, United only needed to win by 1 goal, but Ralph Rangnick's team couldn't be decisive. They had more ball possession, but suffered on counterattacks. And it wasn't a counterattack early in the first half that the ball went to Renan Lodi to send it into the net, 1-0. And in the second half, the Spanish defended even better, so Ronaldo almost had no chances. The ball hardly ever reached him on crosses and didn't manage to shoot a single time. He only attempted that bicycle kick, but the game was already stopped. So in 50 touches he had on the ball, didn't shoot once, not even a blocked shot, and barely touched the ball inside the box. United's attack wasn't at its best, so no one scored, and by just 1-0, Atletico Madrid eliminated them.
Atletico Madrid win 1-0 on the night, and they go through.
In his last Champions League game, Ronaldo ended with a rating of 6.9 on SofaScore. He wasn't the worst nor the best on the team. The 37-year-old legend bid farewell to the Champions League forever. So now, after talking about Neymar and Ronaldo, let's go to the legend Lionel Messi. And if Ronaldo was defeated in his first Champions League game, with Messi happened the same thing. To see that, let's go back to the past, when in the second half of 2004, the young Messi made his official debut for Barca in La Liga. So he was also going to the Champions League. But in the group stage, spent a lot of time on the bench, was really too young. But that was only until December 7, 2004, when in the last match of the group stage, the manager Frank Rijkaard gave him a chance and the 17-year-old Messi started against Shakhtar Donetsk. It was an away game, and Messi played alongside Van Bronckhorst, Iniesta, Xavi and so on. Ronaldinho was on the bench. The match almost didn't mean anything, cause Barca was already qualified, but to Messi it was like a final. And right in that first game, immediately began to show his style, dribbling like we used to see. The ball seemed glued to his foot and everyone saw that there was a great player coming.
Vamos a ver Messi ahí con el balón, tiene cerca de él a Verdú.
But even with a good performance, he didn't score or assist and Shakhtar was much more decisive, so the Ukrainians won 2-0. So fast forward 18 years, we arrive at the 2022-23 season. Now Messi was already a legend, having over 600 goals for Barcelona, 4 Champions League titles, and was now in his second season for PSG. Everyone knew that the 2022-23 season could be his last there. His contract was only until the middle of the year and could live for free. So PSG reached the round of 16 and faced Bayern Munich. We saw before that in the first leg, Bayern defeated Paris and Neymar had his last game. Now Messi also went for the second leg. Messi had just completed football, winning the World Cup, and now on March 8, 2023, the Argentine, now aged 35 to 36, went to Paris to the Allianz Arena in Munich for the last Champions League match of his career, with the same shirt number of his debut, playing alongside Mbappe and players like Verratti, Vitinha, Sergio Ramos, Hakimi and so on.
PSG's task is just about as tough as it gets. They must beat Bayern Munich on their own pitch that Messi and Mbappe both start.
And right in the first half, Messi almost scored.
Rampaging forward, supported by Messi, might get a second chance. Sommer was there, still not clear, and eventually gathered by the Bayern goalkeeper.
Later, Vitinha shot with an open goal, but the lid cleared it off the line. The ball just didn't want to go in. Until in the second half, Choupo-Moting received it and sent it into the net. And just before the end, Gnabry doubled the lead, 2-0. In the second half, Messi tried to shoot again, but was blocked another time, which even led to a counter-attack. In total, Messi had 74 ball touches, completed 39 of the 48 passes attempted, and had 3 key passes. 3 passes that directly led to a teammate shot. He also didn't commit any fouls and suffered 3, but also only completed 2 of the 6 dribbles attempted and lost possession 19 times. He and Mbappe were quite invisible, and the Argentine ended with a 6.9 rating on SofaScore. So Paris was eliminated, and 18 years after his debut, the Argentine said goodbye to the Champions League. He definitely could continue in Europe. Did you like this video? So subscribe and check out this other one that I posted. I think you're gonna like it. Thank you and bye.